And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Shadow Empire in our self-imposed challenge, People What People, where we have two decisions to deal with. On the bottom around 41. One of which is, well, it might not be big solar energy, but solar energy is definitely one we're going to swap to quickly. One of which is going to be what to do after patent Varasuit. Gas-powered small arms. Okay, so that's not quite what we want. I'd rather skip straight to assault rifles. At some point they nerfed gas-powered small arms, and it's less of a go-to tech with it nerfed. We'll work on the high-velocity guns in the meantime. Mining assets they reach 5 levels, industry reach 2, or lose word score. Honestly, I don't want enforcement of government, so really this is coming down to which one do I want to complete for the word score. Can I upgrade my bureaucratic office? I think the answer is yes. Yeah. So that's probably the way we'll go. That might make the power situation a little bit tight. But bureaucracy is quicker tech, so we'll go with that one. Ice mine is done. We should start having water coming in soon as a side effect. Okay, for the moment I am going to pull the tanks back to the city. The fact that we're not taking that hex with 3 neighbors to it is making me think that hex is still got the lawn life in it. Educated guess, but one that's maybe not wrong. Okay, we'll seal this road. I'm not going to seal up into the mountains because the mountain's expensive to seal. We'll seal the rest of it. I think that's enough for the moment. And then in here, we are going to want to start building the bureaucratic offices. Got the metal, we've got the industry. Maybe don't have the power. Worst case scenario, it's at least more BP efficient, so I could turn its operation down to 50% to save most of the power, or could even go back to 25%. Yeah, could go down to 25%. That'd be the same. Both power and output, so yeah, no problem building that. Worst case scenario, so just turn it down again. We found him, so that's what we want to engage, hopefully without losing too many troops. The mountains is obviously the worst place to do it, but tech-wise, what I'm waiting for to do a improvement on the infantry is on medic rifle here. So we've already got patented Varasuits, waiting for discovery and research on medic rifle. Then we'll do a model upgrade for the infantry. Taking advantage of the field testing. So losing infantry right now is, well, maybe not desirable, is fine. Need more bullets.
Roger that.
Oil's looking fine, metal's looking fine. And then next turn we should see, let's just roll into the next turn. We'll see if the water is enough to meet the water needs. My back of the notebook calculations from earlier in the run suggest it should make a base of 180 before governor modifiers are applied. So it might make the 200 something we need. We have 2 decisions. discovered light tanks. For light tank construction, I have no reason to delay those. We are going to still focus discovery here. But we will let the Mullah Council actually start designing the light tank. So, actually, before we do that, let's blueprint this up, just to check how this is going to perform on this planet. New blueprint, light tank. We want the biggest gun. So that's already not boding well. That just slapping the biggest gun on there makes the AP cost bad. Give it the best engine. We're not going to run a lot of these, but we can run some armor. We need to run at least the 25mm plating. I'm very tempted to go up to 50, although 40 AP cost for 50mm is taxing. So we'll back down to the 25 for the moment. Yep, so that's the design we're going to roll with.
Roger that.
Food where did the food go? Delivered from zones. And units. Okay, are we eating more food than we make now? That would be an issue if that's the case. We are, and we can see from the distance to that water mine, we are taking a little bit of administrative strain. I think we're still fine for the moment. We'll see if things work out. Oh, there it is.
Requesting backup.
Okay, otherwise we're reasonably stable. Let's probably cycle the turn if there's no cards I want to play. Yo, investor backing is a definite yes.
Affirmative.
And then prospecting, nothing new, not surprising. Yeah, let's cycle the turn. So if that animal doesn't wander back up into the mountains, we'll have the Recon and the Galactic Republic troops attack it. If it does wander back off, we'll probably have the Recon move off. As long as it's in the mountains, it's being basically protected by the fact that wheeled vehicles don't attack well into the mountains. And it's really good against soft targets. It's not all that good against armored vehicles. That's why we want to fight it with the armored vehicles. Okay, so it did wander back into the mountains. Have you pull off. And it pulled back, okay. Maybe not very far, but it pulled back for the moment. Okay, so all the resources are positive. As we can see, the governor modifier is about 32%. You can probably do the math. It's probably about 1... No, actually... Oh, there's more modifiers in here than I was counting for. But yeah, so it's getting reduced down, but it's getting raised up. We're getting the 214, which is enough to provide for our farm. Incident with Democratic activists. We're gonna punch the leader.
Affirmative.
We are democracy, not autocracy. Demand for the BP to reach that. It probably will next turn, so we'll accept. New organizations. At some point I should pick one up. probably the Interior Council. So let's pick up the Interior Council. We do want democracy, so we'll accept.
Affirmative.
Yeah, otherwise it looks like we're good for the turn. In a lot of our theaters, we don't necessarily have a lot of troops. But that's kind of the struggle with low population, I suppose. Do a prospecting push. Do we have something to prospect? No. I'm gonna wait until next turn. Then I'll roll the corp scientist next turn. And that's looking for someone to fill the job of the Interior Council Secretary. Otherwise, looks like we're good. Okay, so we got attacked by those guys. We did manage to not actually take any casualties against them, kill 100 of them, so that's a good turn. We did have the BP, completing 2 of our demands, so that's good. Admin's now level 6. And you can already see the effects of having the Interior Council. The Interior Council currently has no one in charge of it, so it's not a very good role, but it has pulled us a retirement, so we can start to cycle out the bad people and cycle some better ones in. You want to execute a relative? No, that's what tribunals are for. The balance here. I think I'm going to still favor 50% Supreme Command Council. And then 20 Research Councils. So basically we're just going to get split between the model design and the Interior Council.
Copy that.
And then for that Interior Counselor, let's grab the Corp Scientist.
Roger that.
Hopefully he's not completely terrible. And I don't think he is. I think it's this person. 69. Has admin. The Interior Counselor is almost entirely admin. So the fact that he's not really going to grow into the role is mitigated partially by the fact that she is already decent at the role. Granted, none of our other people are going to grow into the role, and they're far worse. So yeah, she's getting the. You got the job. You got the job. Rules. Tariffs. We'll do like 1% tariffs. We don't need tariff people. And then yeah, for the moment, we'll keep everything else balanced. Once we get the taxes sorted out, which we're gonna have like 10% taxes and like 25% sales tax, 10% income, 25% sales tax, then we're probably not gonna touch taxes again. So then it'll be the bottom 2. That's one of the reasons I'm not giving the Interior Counselor really any bureaucratic points. Your first role as bureaucratic counselor, or as Interior Secretary, is going to be firing someone. Because my reserve pool is terrible. I don't have the money to fire people. At least not without selling money. Okay.
Roger that.
That fixes the money problem. Push someone to retirement. There we go. And we have invested back tanks, so definitely do that.
Affirmative.
More credits in the zone. We'll let the person settle into the job a little before we start hiring people. If for no other reason, then we probably want to be able to have the ability to start firing them before we start hiring them. At least firing the ineffective ones. You know, more of those. Oh no, this is a. It looks like the same gecko. It's a different type of gecko. These guys are cunning and bane. Attacker misses this creature when attacking. If the attacker loses morale immediately. When attacking it, the attacker loses morale. Okay, so when we come for those guys, we're gonna want to come and haunt and effective, because otherwise we're gonna start losing morale real quick. Those are probably worth bringing the tanks again, so we'll bring the tanks down there. We weren't able to acquire that perk. We'll try again next turn. Everything's positive except for food and a little bit of power. We'll watch those. We've got enough in the reserve, that's not an issue. But that may become an issue. And then tech-wise, I should swap off barracks onto solar energy. Yeah, at this point I've got the minimum techs that I need in basic tech for the eco. So let's call up the eco counselor.
Standing by.
Swap the
Roger
research. Solar energy. Because we're going to need to be able to power the factory. The factory is probably what we're going to do next.
that. Standing by.
The ammo factory. And then
Roger that.
priorities. Heavily favoring
Roger
research,
that.
because we want to research those two things. Solar energy, ammunition factory. That will then mean we'll have 4 in basic tech and can start discovering things in chemistry and engineering. Notably, engineering has heavy industry. We are going to want to work towards like metal filtration and such. Deeper in the tree. And then solar power will be a solution to the power issue. A more permanent solution to the power issue. Are we starting to run low? Maybe starting to run low on trees. I might need to be thinking about upgrading the power plant as well. Which will fix the power issue as well. Although that one's temporary. The organic furnace is temporary. Make some bullets.
Roger that.
Could raise some more regiments. Depends on where we're going to push them right now. If it makes sense to build them. Okay, let's cycle the turn. Okay. So, round 45, we have 2 decisions. Quack Doctors was active. There's automatic rifle. Okay, so we're ready to hit the ground running. I say no to you. You have my full support in dealing with this. You actually stand a decent possibility of succeeding here. 159 versus 145 average.
Affirmative.
Critical success. Danger did not increase. That is good. Zoo project. Yes. Build a zoo. Someone second in the victory. What's coming in for prospecting? Nothing to prospect. Okay. Oh, interesting. That is a armored vehicle. Let's push the tank back the other direction. Is there someone in that hex? No, so we can take that hex. That was what was preventing us from taking the hex in the first place, but now we have the hex. You are Gecko. We could engage the Gecko, but I don't think we want to. Let's do that for the moment. A little bit of losses. I'm a little bit worried about that tank, though at this point it's either going to go that way, which the zone of control will slow it down, or that way, which the zone of control will slow it down, so it's not going to be doing any big maneuvers. And then, yeah, let's before I don't have that working, let's get that upgraded. Returns to upgrade. When we get some more firing cards, I might try to recruit some scientists to replace our current research counselors. Okay, so you're on solar energy and favoring research. You have discovered everything we want, so let's call you up. Let's swap your research to automatic rifle. And we're also going to swap your discovery to research. So design-wise, as soon as we can get automatic rifle done, automatic rifle padded infantry is basically the second tier of infantry. That makes all the old foot infantry obsolete. We'll want to begin mass upgrading all the troops. So as a side effect, I'm not necessarily going to be investing too much in building more troops right now, because we know we're going to simply want to upgrade all of them. And then we'll have a much easier time dealing with these guys. Because then we'll probably be better than them with the infantry. Whereas our current infantry are a bit naff. 19 attack. Local militia. Oh, if local marauders are having better than that. Could do improvised IP. I don't think we're desperate for the industry right now. Let's cycle the turn. Oh, we weren't able to hold that location. This isn't a great situation from us. We lost 600 infantry, we killed 600 infantry, we only killed one set of tanks. Giving us their demands, keep them calm. Yeah, we'll buy some of your slaves. Merit versus enforcement. Don't really want either of those. We'll take enforcement because it's a little bit easier to get the commerce and drag it back down again. Oh. Oof. Just lost a bunch of Galactic Republican machine guns. I thought they were going to still be on that hex. They're not on that hex anymore. We can get back in the Hex, but that's probably not good for the guys who just sent the Hex, which is a different problem. There's quite a few of them there.
Requesting backup.
And we lost one of our vehicles. So, yeah, that's just short of 6,000. Okay. That's a lot. Is everything straining down? Am I getting like hammered with administrative strain or something? No, it might have been because I lowered your opinion. Let's try to raise his opinion a bit. That apparently didn't affect his opinion. Okay. It has a middle merit, so there's nothing I can really do to raise his opinion. Oh, and a lot of things are red because I'm building something. I'm actually building something which eats more stuff than we make. That's fair. Water stable. A little bit worried the food's negative, but... Then, what's the progress on? 18% a turn? That's nice. 38% a turn. That's real nice. Okay. Could do war games. We're not really into that at the moment. Okay, let's cycle a turn. Yeah, I'm not surprised that 6,000 something local wildlife can scare the recon cars off. Okay, yeah, so that was a better turn than the previous one for us, but let's... Oh, we lost the commander of the Light Infantry Brigade. So we got a new job for someone. Yeah, you can have the job. Worst case scenario, you don't hold the job for very long.
Roger that.
Independent lab discovered, so I can keep the lab, get research bonus, or shut it down for 20 political power. We've got plenty of political power right now, so we definitely keep it open for the commerce bonus, and the research bonus. You have an emergency. So if I say no, we gain merit, lose commerce. We really don't care about merit. Also get some danger. Or I have to pay a little bit extra political power. We get government and commerce,
Yes,
which is fine. Okay, with the tank in position, we should be ready to deal with you.
You on the other side. Okie dokie.
There we go. Of course, we want the tank to go running back south again. To you to run south again. Probably even want you to run south again. And then reestablish some sort of picket up here. And yeah, the power situation will be solved as soon as the furnace is done. Which should be before the power runs out, so that's good. Wave prospecting push 2, so if we had something to find, we don't think there's anything out there to find, but it would be easier to find it. Could do a bronze retirement. Got no one to fire at the moment, so that's actually an argument. It's time to start rolling for things. So let's grab the corp scientist.
Roger that.
See how good he is. Personnel overview. Camp 2. No admin. Got 21 science, 23 inventor. What skills does military research use? What are you rolling? Inventor. So that one's inventor. I can see the roll there, and then science. So inventor science. Okay. So you do have inventor science. So that's what we'd need for that research role. You're maybe not good enough to take over inventor science, prospecting, admin. Yeah. You wouldn't do eco. You'd be okay for the military research. What do we got in the military research? So you'd be better than this person. 34 int and say 27 of those stats versus 21, 23. Higher base int. Higher base int. Yeah.
Standing by.
So I'm gonna relieve you.
I'm on it.
I'm gonna offer you. I don't necessarily think military command is considered a better job, so we're gonna say an other job. We'll give you an other job.
I'm on it.
Sadly, that does mean we won't get the bonus here for them on the next turn, but we can put the scientist in next turn. And we definitely will have another job for them. The solution I might be is I'm thinking about raising another brigade soon. And if we raise another brigade, that'll be another job. It's a good way to think about that. A little short on bullets.
Roger that.
Then everything else is good, so let's cycle the turn. We're a little worried about those very large stacks, but otherwise we're doing okay. Human infantry lost 100. Completed automatic rifle. Okay, so even without a good research counselor on it, we completed it. What I was popping in there for is to see that we had abductions going on. Zone decision. Yeah, you have my support to mitigate it. Rolls a success. We still lose people, which is not great. Spend the money to get the people. Military research leader. So we're going to replace the old one with this one. Science, inventor, our intellect.
Roger that.
And then you're back to high velocity guns. So the only other one to discover here is high-speed machine guns, which is now an option to be discovered. We have 3 of 4 techs. Solar energy will come along real soon. And then we'll have 4, and we'll be probably maybe back on discovery again, pretty heavily.
Roger that.
Got an official gift. Twitch is wondering, I wonder if Governor is a better job than Brigade Commander, and if Corps Commander is better than Brigade Commander. Yeah, I'm not sure what the hierarchy is on the jobs. Is definitely someplace I have questions. I can definitely see that being a very subjective thing to some people. Tempted to hit the governor with that, but at the same time, the governor really care about the last one I hit him with, but we'll try again. And we got one opinion with him. And his opinion's rising, so not the end of the world. I don't like that we didn't get the hex on that move. I think the wild animal is still down here. I think this is probably the wild animal again as well. Ran up the mountains. The model design is still working on that tank. Yes. We do want it to finish, as tempting as it is to redesign all the infantry right now. Okay. Could do a volunteer drive. This is likely to negatively affect production from the city, though. And I'm not that desperate to get bodies to fill up the replacements. Yeah, let's go raising that unit. Need on the light infantry brigade. So we're gonna have a manpower shortage in the meantime, obviously, because I got all the vacancies to fill. But that'll be the job for the person we just told we'd give him a different job to. Otherwise, more bullets. 800 bullets.
Roger that.
Should be good to go. That guy's turn to come around our side there. We killed 3 infantry, which is good in the defense. Solar energy is complete. That's good. Private investments, always good. Giving money to the militia isn't too bad. We got the blue power to give them attention. With enough of the council's done at this point, I'm going to actually favor political power. 75-25 on that. Economic Council onto Ammunition Factory. And then that's your new job. Currently recruiting 500 a turn, so 500 more into the foot infantry. It's not going as well as I'd hoped. Another unit's a blocking unit. Okay, it is out on the plains. Go, tanks, go!
Requesting backup.
Darn, we aren't able to get a full retreat there. They may attempt to break out. Nope, that was a bad one. Oh, that's going to be a problem over and over again, isn't it? These guys are... Because they're cunning, they're really good at hiding. These are at least class of infantry, so other than the fact that our guys are apparently not very good at fighting, yeah, we'll probably won't have as much problem with them once we actually get proper armor and guns, but that's a little while out, to be fair. I'm not going to replace the military commanders yet. That is a thing I can do. We'll give it a little bit more time. Cycling the turn again. Okay, not a bad turn for us. We didn't get any... Not seeing any kills here. We're just holding. Oh, we killed 200 infantry somewhere. And all the back and forth there. Someone's threatening my water supply. That has... something caused some danger. There we go. Now those are dealt with. Probably want to bring the tank in. We know they have a tank. So let's not try to send the guys armed only with machine guns in by themselves again. You want to organize a party? No, that's up to the government. National budget. I'm a little bit tempted to give a little bit more to the model council right now. Yeah, we get a little bit of power. I will accept to move some off of the Supreme Command Council to model design. Double the rate of model design.
Copy that. Copy that.
And we actually want to call you up.
Roger that.
Priorities. You're back on Discovery.
Roger that.
We'll work a little bit on the propeller engine. Probably not going to run planes here. At least not for quite a while. We want to discover heavy machine guns. And then we're into the other equipment. So rockets, RPGs, small arms, combat armor. So discovery. We're back on discovery again. Slid down a little bit, maybe because we're not getting territories quickly. Twitch is saying my personal regular game is a cakewalk compared to this. Will the AI have problems too? I don't necessarily know what you mean by KI. I assume the AI is having some problems because they haven't been off running pretty much with much of the planet. One of them's off to a little bit of advantage with 5.3% of the planet, but yeah, we're sitting in third. This is maybe not fast expansion, but there's no like big population centers out there. This isn't the friendliest of planets. Even to the AI, this isn't the friendliest of planets. Twitch chat saying AI, yes. The KI is German, presumably for AI. Okay. Oops. No, I wanted to build a sealed road to there. This is where we're going to build our first truck station. Yeah, the first one I'm going to build. And then this is going to become the centerpiece to a city here. Potentially mining the rare earth metal. We're going to shovel the colonists slowly. Okay, so they're moving down. Oh, we got private investment. We'll dump that into the private economy. Let's grab 2 juniors. The logic being that if I'm going to set a colony up, we probably want to have some people to pick from. Trade-wise, we need to reserve some stuff to make some money. Push 200 metal out the door.
Roger that.
We get a decent revenue reserve. Could drop the war games. Granted, our current generals are not going to benefit much from that, so I'm not bothering. If we had some better higher capacity generals, I probably would do it. Yep, so I think this is going to be the turn. Oh, maybe I should have built some bullets. Probably won't too much be a problem, or probably won't be too much of a problem. And I should probably start on the solar power. We killed one of infantry in defense. Got another private investment, that's not bad.
Roger that.
truck station is done. I'm gonna do it one more turn before we make that an independent city. Nice reducing move view. Yeah. We use the guard for that city. Okay. A little bit of a shame I haven't hit any of the tax cards yet. Though that's something that once we do hit them, they'll be solved. Probably for the rest of the game real quick. Build some weapons, or build some ammo.
Roger that.
Keep that concept right. Okay. And then construction-wise, we are going to want to get some power from solar. So let's workshop up 2 heavy machines.
Roger that.
Start the construction of the solar.
Affirmative.
And they haven't got any real super interesting cards yet to play. So let's cycle in the turn. Some of this is their bureaucracy being low due to slow game speed. Okay, we held there. Okay, so the more places we hold like that, the better things are going. 950 killed for no losses. Blame it on the vodka, yes. We're not gonna play that, at least because I'm gonna have a limited number of guys I can play that on, right? Oh, they could have 90 relation and a minimum amount of charisma, I think. Minimum of intelligence. I think the difficulty we're gonna find it would actually be the relations, not the... Look at the advisor. With it. Probably don't want anything advisor with it, but could hit the advisor with it. Yeah, the big one is finding people who have the int and the relations. Trying to get the blame the vodka off. I have 3 political power, or 3 hate points. So let's pick up that tech.
Copy that.
The coding. So that's a little bit extra armor penetration. That'll be nice. Okay, so you're operational. I'm going to make a zone here. So new zone.
Copy that.
Connected to the first SHQ. Zone borders. I'll go ahead and give you the 3 hexes around you. Just sort of by default, and then sort of bring you out to the territorial borders. I may decide we're going to get the rare metals here. I may not. Colonization here. This is a place we will send all the colonists that the logistics will handle, apparently, which is not all the colonists. Yeah, we'll get a couple decisions about that place next turn. Okay, it's not too bad. At some point, I'll probably want to put a rail line in there, just because I usually use rail line for strategic deployment or strategic stuff. That's not an emergency or rush job that needs to be put in. Let's put a bunch of priests
Roger that. Roger that.
in the next brigade.
Roger that. Roger that. Roger that. Roger that.
There we go. So war's going well. Food's going well. Petrol's actually capped out. We're actually actively selling petrol right now. So I'm definitely going to run out armor once we get some armor. Once we get the armor researched.
Roger that.
Well, say designed. Let's say designed because it's in the design phase. It is a 400 BP thing to build. We're only investing 25% before, well, 25 BP before modifiers. This guy is growing into the job, so he'll be real good in the long run. Yeah, things are going reasonably well. Let's cycle a turn. As we're securing more and more of the border, I'm definitely feeling we are getting closer to the point where we can be a little bit more aggressive with expanding. Also, as soon as we've developed the tank, we're going to do a model redesign of the infantry, and that will help a lot, just making the infantry a whole bunch tougher. Guild 5 infantry have 4 decisions. One which is what to do with the roaming thieves, what to do after the research into the ammo factory. So, post-ammo factory, I think we're going to work in the hospital. Worker strike, we're going to pay you off. Roaming thieves, you have my full support to deal with that problem. Failure, although must have been a failure on both sides because they didn't steal very much. They made people scared about the thefts, but not much. Besides that, and then a new governor for the new location. Cap 1, who's terrible. Cap 2's probably better than the Cap 1. Let's do another junior and a military. See if that's changed up my selection choice. It did not. So there's the Cap 2. The Cap 2 we already got here is probably better than that one, at least in the long run. Because it's governing's a lot of, I think, int and charisma rolls. Actually, no, you maybe are better than this one. And then the Cap 1. Okay. We'll just take the Cap 2 then.
Order received.
We may find an excuse to get rid of them later. And then those are a bunch of bad rolls, so I think we're gonna, with what bronze retirements we have, start to retire those people who don't even have a job. You're so bad, you got hired one day and you're getting fired the next. I'm not sure I want to pay 1,000 credits yet to do that. 500 is not that bad. We'll try 500. So your Cap 1, your Cap 1, those are the ones left fire. 50 chance to retire, seniority 50, so this one's going to be the likeliest one to get rid of. Well, least likely. The 2. I'm actually surprised we failed. We rolled a 20. 5 dice, you rolled an average of 4 in each. Okay. Okay, well, at least that time our guy did not run face first into the enemy. Dome's dead. Cool. Colonists.
Order
Send
received.
workers to work. The truck station that apparently doesn't have workers. There you go. Send in the armor. And we lost, of course, we lost some of the armored cars. Moving against it. So we got that patch to deal with. Don't know what those are. Probably marauders. We don't know what that is. Okay, so we got all the colonists deployed now. And we can see the civilians expanding to a second oil well. So yeah, I'm probably, as soon as we get this tanks researched, I probably want to field some tanks, because we got petrol to spend. Model design, 10% more progress, so you'll be done in 3 turns. The current rate. Everything is otherwise fine. How's the solar panels are done? So we'll get an idea of how effective those are power-wise on the next turn. We're coming up on probably where we want to put the end of this part for YouTube. Take a quick look at the victory score. Okay, we're sitting confidently at 3rd place in the regime ranking. Probably to get farther up the score podium here, we need to get expanding into the planet. But this has been pretty static for the last hour, so this doesn't super surprise me. Yeah, this has been pretty static for the last hour, so it doesn't super surprise me. So let's cycle the turn. As soon as this end turn is done, I'm going to go ahead and take a part break. So if you're watching on YouTube, the next part will be up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, this will be the longest break probably of the stream, because it's time for me to go get a new cup of tea. Because this, well, to be fair, this cup of tea has been empty for the entire last hour. So I'm a little bit desperate, a little bit parched for another cup of tea. So as soon as that cup of tea is done, I'll be back and recording the next part. I do usually record 4 parts every night for every game. Well, 4 parts every night on a rotation between 4 games. So we've just finished up the second part here. We're going to go move on to the third part as soon as that cup of tea is done. So this is where we're going to end. The next part will be the beginning of round 54, where it looks like we did pretty decently over the end turn, because we killed 300 infantry and 10 tanks at the loss of our own. So until next time, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.